Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Yinzer Brothers podcast. I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim. And once again, you are hanging out with the Yinzer Bros. We're here previewing the Steelers and the Bengals game this Sunday at 1 p.m. Tim, football is back, baby.
It is back, man. Watching some of that first half. Josh Allen's a wagon, man. He's an absolute wagon.
He is. I didn't see any of the games so far, so what's it looking like?
Josh Allen. Josh Allen. Josh Allen. I think he started the game 10 for 10.
Oh, my goodness, really?
He's a wagon, dude.
So is there any way any of Josh rubbed off on Mitch?
No. Well,
let's hope
Not
that he
at
did.
all.
Tim, let's hope that
Mitchell
he did.
Mitchell Deer Eyes Trubisky? No.
Oh,
No.
gosh, I hope we do. I hope he does because we need something, man. So the Bengals are starting. We have the Bengals first up. The big game is Sunday. Tim, what do you make of this game, and what do you think of the mighty Bengals?
I mean, the mighty what do I think of the game? It doesn't give me warm, fuzzy feelings from last year, TJ.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bengals put us in the tumbler and just tumbled us around and just spit us out like we were a piece of garbage. I mean, the Bengals, they upgraded their line, but there's, I mean, in the back of your mind, there's still I still think like the Bengals in the back of my mind. I'll never be able to shake that until they consecutively beat us probably the next 5 times because of Joe Burrow. I don't know.
Well, they are the Bengals. You're right. Now they did upgrade their line, but it takes time for lines to gel, so we don't know what their line's going to be like.
You telling me it takes? I'm hoping it takes time for lines to gel.
That's all we have keeping us going, isn't it, Tim? They got to hope that they gel, right? They do have some scary aspects, but we got to see. Every year to me is unique and it stands on its own merit. So let's see what they do. I mean, they are the defending AFC champs. We got to give them that, right? So what do you think? Do they have any vulnerability? I mean, you remember a few years ago we took out the Bills? And people didn't know. They didn't expect that.
That was last year. That was the opener line. Yeah. TJ, like I've been looking at this game from all different angles. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where the vulnerability could be. Maybe I think their left tackle is very not good at football. I think it's the only guy on their line that's really not good at football.
Well, they kept him from last year, didn't they?
And he wasn't good.
I know.
So, I mean, I want to see. I mean, that's going to be where Highsmith comes off. It's not going to be T.J. Watt's coming off the right side, and he's going to be going. I mean, it doesn't matter who T.J. Watt goes against. I don't really care what tackle it is. He's going to get his. It's the other guys, and you don't know how healthy Highsmith is, or I like the guy they got in the trade. I don't, or how ready he's going to be. Yeah. I mean, is it one of those dudes where it's like Bill Cowher spitting in his face and it's like just rush the quarterback, just rush the quarterback? I don't know.
So they are going to be a challenge, but I think they can be beatable. So let's focus then on the Steelers. Let's talk about how the Steelers are built this year. Let's start with the offense. If you talk about the Steelers' offense, we got to start with the QBs. The big QB battle is over. We are on the Trubisky train. Mitch won the job.
I'm not on any Trubisky train. I'm sitting at the train station waiting for the Kenny Pickett train to come whipping by so I can jump on there like a vagabond.
That's right. So how do you feel about our QBs? I mean, Mitchell didn't look bad this year. He didn't look bad in preseason. You have him and you got Kenny behind him. That could be you could be worse.
Everybody in Pittsburgh can paint it however they want. They can say, well, he was Chicago's offense. It was TJ. I watched this dude for 4 years out here under a microscope. He can't read it. He can't read a defense.
One read Mitch.
It's either one read Mitch. If that read's not there, it's check down Mitch. That's the only two options. I'm just telling you, by week, I'm guessing week 3, you're going to be so furious with this dude because you're going to be like, when they show the I don't know what they call it, the NFL view, the ones like a couple days later,
Mm-hmm.
and there's guys just like this running free down the middle of the field. He's like, I'm just gonna check it down to Najee for 2 yards, and Najee gets blown up 1,000 times. You're gonna be like, what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen it too much, and I didn't see nothing in the preseason made me think any different.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think preseason is preseason. I think he's. Let me ask you a question. How about this? Would you have rather had Mitchell or Mariota?
C, none of the above.
Well, they were some of the big free agents, right? So you had to, you know.
Pass.
So Mitch is our guy until Kenny gets the helm. What game do you think Kenny's going to come in and take the helm?
I'm the over under to me is week 4. That's the magical number because I wouldn't play him against. I think the second game of the season against New England, and just New England may not be good. It's just Bill Belichick. Every time I've seen him go against rookie quarterbacks, it's like they see ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just hold him past that game, just to, whatever. But me personally, I'm thinking 4 weeks, but realistically, you look at their first bye. I think it's week 7 or 8, and I think they go into that following the bye. They play Miami in Miami on a primetime game. Be a good spot, I think, for him to possibly take over because you're away from Pittsburgh. It is going to be Monday night games, so it's going to get talked about, but you're also going to have the Flores thing going back to Miami that kind of drowns that whole thing. So that may be a good spot. I personally don't want to wait that long. I just but if it's, it wouldn't stun me if it's week 4.
Yeah. I think it's a possibility. I think I'm curious to see what Bitch is going to do, and I do feel better knowing that we got Pickett in our hip pocket. We'll see. And then we go to the running backs. You got Najee. There's not a whole lot to be nervous about Najee other than his foot.
TJ, I have bad nightmares about Liz Frank, and that's all I'm going to say. I've never heard of somebody spraining their Liz Frank. Frank, is that what it's called? Frank?
I don't know. Something French. I don't know.
And it just doesn't get re-injured very easily. That's like me. It's like when you pull a hamstring.
Uh-huh.
You're never, if you pull a hamstring mid-season, you're never like completely healed. You're always going to pop that thing again at some point, sometime.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what gets me nervous about the whole Liz Frank
So
thing.
what do you think of this backup kid that they got up here now then? What's his name? Warren or whatever?
You can think whatever you want about the running backs. When they're running behind A, B, C, D, and E. TJ, all the
Tim, they're just gelling. They haven't gelled yet, Tim. Come on, Tim. TJ, give them some faith.
The magical stat line you're going to get is 20 rushes for 55 yards at 2.7 yards a carry. That's what you're going to get. Doesn't matter who you put back there.
Well, I mean, here's the difference, though, too. If they can actually throw the ball down the field a little bit, these guys won't be able to load up the box like they've been doing the last few years.
I agree, TJ, but you're going to see the same offense. I think you're going to see everybody's complaining like Ben gets rid of the ball in half a second. TJ, I would get rid of the ball in a half a second too if I had these bozos in front of me.
That's true.
So I don't know. I don't know if you're going to be able to hold on to the ball long enough to get downfield that much. Mm-hmm. That's what scares the heck out of me. You got Dan Moore over there. Looks like he's trying to block a ghost. I don't know what he's doing over. It's like somebody. I don't know what happened to him. I've never seen a guy regress that much from year 1 to year 2.
Let's hope that he actually puts it together because it has been rough. Let's talk about the offensive line. So I saw that Chooks got hurt. He hurt his back. Did you see that?
I guess. I'm hoping that's just a vet day and they're just making him something up.
Let's hope it is because, I mean, who takes his place? That white guy they got from Minnesota?
I guess. TJ, I don't know. I have no idea who's on their line anymore.
Tim, do you even know who's on the team, Tim? Come on, Tim. You got to focus.
TJ, I'm trying to focus. That line, it is the do, man. I mean, I'm kind of curious because I'm wondering, they restructured TJ Watt to free about $10 million in cap space.
Maybe they're going to pick somebody up. Maybe they're planning on a trade.
Go do something. You got to say, why would you just free up $10 million in cap space just for the?
You know who I'd love to see here as a tackle? That kid from the Texans.
Oh, TJ, I think 31 other teams would like to see him there as a tackle.
Hey, the Texans need a quarterback. Maybe we send Mitchell.
No, that guy. I think
not Mason.
the quarterback on the Texas, David Mills, he may be the best group out of the whole bunch that was drafted last year when it's all said and done. That guy's not bad.
So let's talk about the Steelers wide receivers. So it looks like Deontay is still a little dinged up, but I think he'll play, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Then we get your guy, Chase Claypool. Your guy, Notre Dame. Do you know the Notre Dame fight song yet, Tim? You should probably learn that because apparently Pittsburgh is the pro version of the Notre Dame team.
and again, what that will get you is when you're playing the big games, you'll be great when you're playing against the crappy teams. You get to the big games, you're going to get slaughtered because those guys just can't touch people, they can't tackle people, they can't catch on people.
Yes.
What's going to happen?
That's true.
I don't know. Is Claypool going to play like more than 3 plays before he gets hurt?
I don't know. We'll have to see. And then you got Pickens, who's going to be a stud. So if Deontay can't go, who do you think they throw in that next thing? Is it Gunner? Does Gunner go in?
I don't know. I would think probably Boykins.
No, he's a big receiver. You need somebody to replace Deontay. Isn't Boykin isn't he like 6'4"?
Well, they got that other guy they signed with the 82 that they held on to. The one that has AB like qualities.
Yeah.
But it's not AB.
So does that mean is he crazy like AB or no? Is he non-crazy?
I think Olszewski's going to be there. I think he's going to play regardless. But I think Deontay Johnson's going to be fine. He practiced today.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
So it looks like the receivers will be fine, and then I'm looking forward to seeing our tight ends this year. I'm kind of curious to see. I think. What do you think they're going to do with Connor Hayward?
I don't know because every time I look at something on Twitter or something, they're trying out another tight end. So I don't know what the heck that means.
I don't either.
I think they're trying to get a blocking tight end, truthfully. So I don't know. I don't know what that means.
No, I'm with you. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys go. Let's flip to the other side of the ball. Hang on.
Let the dogs bark. Let the dogs bark.
Who let the dogs out? Rob is taking care of the dogs right now. They've been so quiet during the podcast. Now one won't go to her now. So let's talk a little bit about the Steelers defense now. Because we know what the offense is. Well, before we do that, let's talk real quick about if you're looking at the offense. Who do you think is going to be the surprise player of the game for the offense?
For the Steelers?
Yeah. Who is your dark horse? Who is the one that nobody expects that you think is going to do well?
I mean, I don't know. Mitch Trubisky, maybe. Is that
That would be great. What if Mitch did that? What if he's your dark horse?
I don't know. You consider a dark horse. I don't think Freiermuth is.
Well, who's going to be your surprise? No, Freiermuth's not going to be surprised. Although I believe, here's my prediction for Freiermuth. I think he's going to have 4 catches for 87 yards and a tutty.
I could see that, but my big thing is like if you want me to name a dark horse, you can't
who's
name
going to be the surprise player?
Horse. You can't name any of the receivers as a dark horse.
Well, who's going to surprise you?
What am I going to pick? A left guard to be my dark horse? Like, hey, they're not going to give up a sack.
Well, then who's going to be your offensive player of the game?
My offensive player of the game is going to be. I think it's going to be a welcome to the NFL. Oh crap, Mr. Pickens. There's going to be some deep pops to him. I think he's going to have 2 tutties. Mr. Pickens on deep pops, because I don't think they're going to have to leave him singled, and I think that's going to be a big mistake because Eli Apple's probably going to be on him singling, and Eli Apple can't cover. He can't cover anything. He stinks.
He does stink. He is definitely not their number one guy, but I mean he is their number one guy. He's all they got. Isn't it funny they didn't go and replace him? Why would they have replaced him? I
don't know. I mean, I don't know, because to me, what are you going to? But here's another thing, though, too, is, I mean, you're going to have who's going to cover the slot? You're going to have somebody, I'm assuming Claypool's been playing the slot a lot, right?
He has. Well, actually, they have him moved into the slot. He's a mismatch nightmare.
So what are you going to do? Put Mike Hilton on him? I like Mike Hilton, don't get me wrong, but Mike Hilton's 4'7". Yeah. And if Claypool can't catch balls over him, we have major issues. So to me, it's you're either going to they're going to have to double the inside, that slot, and leave Deontay and on their number one corner, which I could see, and then you have Pickens on an island with Eli Apple. If that dude's a dog, he better just start barking. So that's my guy. I'm going to say
That's
right
true.
now, the rookie
Okay.
right there.
So he's your guy. He's your player of the game. I'm going to say, boy, I tell you, it's hard to go against that logic. Golly. I'm going to say, you ready for this? I'm going to go out on a limb.
A lot of people think I'm dumb. I'm not that dumb.
Tim, you're not dumb. You're special. You're special. That's what you are.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm going to go on a limb. I think Claypool's going to have a stud game. I think he's going to be the offensive player of the game. Chase Claypool, Tim.
I don't want to have to. I'd have to. I would never hear the end of mush if that's the case.
I think that's what's going to happen. So let's flip to the other side of the ball and let's talk a little bit about the defense. Now the defense, was a struggle last year, but I think a lot of that was because we had injuries and we had guys like Devin Bush that were just terrible.
You mean the human joystick that just doesn't have it plugged in?
Exactly. So let's start with what I think now is one of the strengths again of our defense, which would be our defensive line. Let's talk about the defensive line. What do you like about the Steelers defensive line?
I like everything about it. What I don't like about it is I don't know if Alualo is going to last a play and a half, if he's going to last a game, if he's going to last 3 games, or if he's going to last the whole season. I don't know, because if that dude goes down, could be in big to-do.
You're right. No, it could be. Well, I mean, they did have great. You got the great pickup of the former Bengal. You think he's going to be inspired to play his old team, Tim?
Ogunjobi?
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi? I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be. Only thing I get to be worried about him is he's good, but in that defense, you got to make sure you're playing your lanes. So you can't shoot up the field and be overhyped and play, as Bill Belichick would say, do your job and let the. I hate.
Hey, we don't do Bill Belichick quotes here, buddy. We don't live in our fears. The standard is the standard. We don't do that Belichick crap here.
As long as he doesn't crush grapes into wine and all that stuff that Tomlin does. No, I think he's going to play fine, but he's got to play within the defense. But it gets me nervous as hell because you could play within the defense and do your job. I just picture Devin Bush showing up at a hole and just stopping, and the running back going and just right past him. That's what gets me nervous.
He does
they
make
can do
me
their job,
nervous.
and Devin Bush can't tackle.
He does make me nervous, but that takes us to the second phase of the defense. We did upgrade hugely. I think Miles Jack is a huge upgrade in that inside linebacker position. He's smart. He likes contact. He flows. I think for us, the key will be, again, Bush makes me nervous. And then we got number 41, your favorite guy, Mr. Spillane.
Fenwick's pride.
I'll tell you what, I like what they were doing more with bringing that safety in. Now, again, the guy that they had playing there broke his wrist. So, I mean, can they plug and play another safety down there? I don't know.
I saw that they signed another safety, but I think it's just on the practice squad. I mean, you saw that guy was playing the 7th round pick that I didn't think was. They had last year that played safety that I thought was half decent for a 7th round pick, the kid from Oklahoma last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm assuming they got to do something. I mean, it's kind of interesting to me that they didn't have the guy that they signed from Buffalo locked in as their one starting corner, which I thought was kind of weird. But again, I don't think it's a big deal because I think what you're going to end up seeing is Cam Sutton play a lot of that slot anyways.
Cam may be one of the best defensive backfield picks they've had in a long time.
Yeah.
He's solid.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I think Marcus Allen's back, he was at hybrid safety too. So I don't know if you're going to see some of him. Maybe take the guy that got Hurts. So some of the packages they were using for him, because he can go up. He's almost like a safety linebacker hybrid type of deal to hit. So I don't know, man.
I think they'll be okay. Again, and then for us, the key then is also pressure as well. I mean, if we get pressure off the edges, I love that kid that they picked up from the Broncos.
To do what they did in a week and a half, 2 weeks, they went from that the other dude, what's his name, the white guy who is brutal. They get rid of him and bring in back John Jogger.
Which I like that. I think that's a good. I think that's a good pickup back.
John, but that dude from Denver is like he's a
stud.
TJ, if you want my opinion, I think he's better than Highsmith.
He might be. Now I think the only problem is this. I think he, they say he's great with with pressure, but he's not that stout against the run. So we'll have to see what that looks like.
I mean, we'll see. I think he's going to be. I think he, truthfully, I think he's better than the upgrades that they. I think he's better than Ingram from last year.
Oh yeah,
I think he. I think he's.
the
I
Predator.
think
Yeah,
he. I do. I think he's an. I think he was a very, very underrated pickup for what they got him for. I think he's. I think he'll be okay, man.
yeah.
As a guy coming in as that rotation. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Well, you
I
need
think
those
he's gonna be
rotation
okay.
guys. I wish they could have grabbed another inside linebacker just to deepen the pen. But maybe we'll be okay. If Miles
But
Jackson, if he goes down, we're done. I mean that's
you
going to
never
be a
know,
big.
because I saw the one guy from the Giants, the um, linebacker, that was pretty good that they cut that's out there. Like I said, they freed up $10 million in cap space. They didn't do that for no reason.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
to me, they're going after somebody. And like in my brain, it's either an offensive lineman, which is I know the tackles out there. Fisher's still out there. I don't know if he was even good enough to play. I know he's out there, but I'm also like, did they do it to maybe bring back Joe Hayden?
Maybe I don't know.
Situational rotation as a corner or something like that, so they get some more flexibility. I don't know.
But isn't it funny? Joe Hayden just flapped out there in the breeze. Nobody picked him up.
I mean, TJ, he's like 35, 36.
Well, but I mean, still, for you'd think he'd catch on somewhere just for depth.
Again, they have $10 million in cap space, and it's very weird reason why you just don't free up $10 million in cap space. And Steelers, they usually hover around $2 million in case injuries happen during the season.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no reason to have $10 million in cap space if you're not going to use it.
No, they did that, like the restructuring of Watts thing. You're right. It's just it's been interesting. So I don't know. I think the defense will be solid. Do you think is the defense stout enough where the defense can carry this? I mean, it reminds me a little bit of like maybe 2008 when we had this stud defense and Ben did what he needed to do. 2008 was Ben's worst statistic year, and yet he hoisted a Lombardi.
Do I think the defense is that good? No. I mean, TJ, you had some dudes on that defense. Do I think it's good? Yeah, but do I think it's thin? Like some of their secondary goes down. You don't got a lot of depth in secondary. Linebacker goes. If Miles Jack goes down, they're dead. If their D line goes down, I think they have enough depth right there to do some stuff. But you know, that's like you're saying 2000. Are you saying Minka's in Troy's stratosphere?
No, but I think it's I think anytime you have a Super Bowl run like that, part of it is also they stayed pretty healthy all year. You got to stay remarkably healthy. That's why it's so tough to repeat. That's what makes even like, and I hate to say this, it makes what the Patriots did even more impressive because they did it more with scheme. Now again, they had the positions that they needed to have, like Brady and those guys.
Yeah.
But for us, for the Bengals, can they repeat? Well, they'd have to stay. They were incredibly healthy last year. This even with Burrow. He's gone down before with knee injuries. How solid is he? And we really still don't know what their line's going to look like. What are they going to look like under duress and under pressure? One of the things I look at too from a defensive standpoint, when you look at the Steelers' defense and their defensive line, it's not a rookie defensive line. These are veterans. There's a lot of power up there. Highsmith is I don't consider him a rookie anymore, but TJ Watt, like you said, who's going to block him?
Yeah.
Miles Jack is not a rookie. So you're not talking about guys that, he happens to be out of position. Now, again, I think we even upgraded our secondary from last year. And our secondary was pretty good last year.
For me, I guess what I'm kind of getting at is it's in this day and age of NFL, it's tough to keep an offense to 17 points. I just, to me, the magical number is, can you keep every offense like this to 17 points? Because I don't think our offense is going to score more than 17 to 20 points a game. I'd be stunned. So to me, it's like, I don't know the law of averages. Are you going to be able, even if you're a great defense, can you hold teams to 17 points in this day and age in NFL with these offenses? I don't know, man. There's too dynamic, and the rules are in just too much of the offense's favor. Yeah. So it's not like it was in 08 where you can clean somebody's clock and do this. There's just, I don't know if it's this ever going to be the same. You know what I mean? We could be looking back 20 years from now, I'm like, holy mackerel, they were holding teams to 17 to 20 points because now everybody's scoring 30, 35 points.
Yeah.
That's what I don't know. It's like,
I think that'll swing back the other way again. I hope because it has to stop at some point, or else
I
it's
don't
like
think,
basketball.
I don't think it will, because you look at the colleges, the guys coming out. That's what it is. It's you look at the smaller kids, the 7-on-7 camps. Everything right now is it's basketball on turf.
Yeah.
You know, it's what it is. You have these passing camps. You didn't have those back in the day. You
No,
just
seven on
didn't. They
seven
weren't
is
as
huge
prevalent
now.
as this. You know what I mean? So I think as you get older, that's all you're going to see is all these ridiculous athletes on offense that are just. That's why you're seeing every year. It's not shocking you see a rookie receiver tear up the league,
Mm-hmm.
because you're seeing 4 and 5 wide receiver sets every day in college that are spreading the field, and that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I don't think that's going to change. I mean, I think
So
it's only going to get worse for the defenses.
do you still think that defense wins championships is correct?
I used to always think that, but as the years went, like the KC team won the Super team. These teams have been pretty good. Their defenses haven't been great.
Hmm.
I know the Rams had a great defense last year. Um,
I mean, they did,
like I
and
said, I
Burrow
think,
was good, but again with pressure, they have edge pressure, and then you got Donald. He's a freak of nature.
yeah. I
Did you
mean,
see his workout thing he did with The Rock? Did you see that?
yes, I did. I did.
Nobody should. That's ridiculous.
You want
I think he
you
looked
want my,
bigger than The Rock.
you want my bold prediction? Aaron Donald will be a Pittsburgh Steeler within 2 years.
What
Maybe
makes
a
you
little
say
bit late in his
that?
career. TJ, he's from Pittsburgh.
Uh-huh.
He's from Penn Hills. He comes
Oh, yeah.
back here all the time. TJ, I give it that dude. If somebody told you, hey, what is Pittsburgh? Show me what a football player from Pittsburgh is. Aaron Donald would be probably on. I hate to say it, like on Mount Rushmore of just when I say it's the Pittsburgh guy playing Pittsburgh football. That's a dude that's like he was in 7th grade or 6th grade, and he's down in his basement with the Pittsburgh toilet doing.
Tim, have you ever
bench
thought
presses
about
and
this?
stuff like that?
Do you know when we grew up, we drank the same water as him?
I get it.
Do you know
That's
that,
what I'm saying.
Tim? What happened to us? Why did he get all that stuff and we got nothing?
TJ, but I will tell you what is every little kid's dream that grows up in especially at Pittsburgh, like Penn Hills, Pittsburgh. What is every little kid's dream?
When Penn Hills is not to get shot. That's the first part.
Yes, but I mean, like when if you're playing football in Western Pennsylvania, what is every little kid's dream?
You want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler drinking a Turner's iced tea at not Acrisure at the Heinz Field. That's what you want to be doing.
Exactly. So that's my big thing. I think he structured his deal. I think his deal was for like 2 years. I think he's going to get out of that last year, and he's going to come to Pittsburgh. We may see him later on in his career, but I think he's going to come play for a couple of years.
He's still like a cyborg. I'll take him. Who's going to stop him? He reminds me the way he motors. Again, there's nothing in stature that's even close to it. But remember Harrison? How he would they're just freaks of nature. They're just absolutely freaks of nature.
There's a couple dudes on the planet that I'd be like, hey, if I ever got in an alley and he would be one of the dudes. Brock Lesnar would be up there with one of the dudes. James Harrison would be up there. Like those three,
he would be great.
Those three, like if aliens came down, from the sky right now, and they were like, we got to fight the alpha male of the world. Aaron Donald would be in the top 5 choices for me. Like, throw him out there.
So you're saying you would not be in there, but you're saying Aaron would be in there, right?
Oh,
They're like, we need a top dog.
I'd be down in my Pittsburgh toilet trying to hide from the aliens.
I know you're taking the testy cream, but I don't know if that's enough, man. So who is your defensive player of the game?
Defensive player of the game. It has to be. I'm gonna say Minka. I think Minka's gonna be the defensive player. I think he's gonna show up strong? I think he's gonna do. I think he's gonna do a lot more roaming this year. So I think you may see a pick out of him. Big hit, big turnover.
Oh, that would be great. I'm going to go out on a big limb here, and I'm going to say the defensive player of the game is going to be T.J. Watt. And he's going to have 2.5 sacks right out of the gate.
I hope so.
It's shocking. I know it's shocking.
I was gonna pick Watt, but I'm like, hey, that's too obvious. Like I'm almost expecting him to have like 2 sacks a game now.
Think about now Burrow as he's his right side. You have Watt, and you've got his former teammate. I mean, right in his face. Now it could be those guys collapse that side of the line, and then that just makes it like a feeding frenzy on the backside. I don't know.
You'll know pretty quick in this game if we're gonna have a chance, because if they're getting pressure up the middle, they'll have a better chance. If they're getting pressure from the outside and he's just stepping up in the pocket, you're gonna.
Burrow's
that accurate, he will pick you apart.
Yeah, Alu is a big guy, but here's the thing. I mean, he was the most sacked quarterback last year, and we know this. Your body can only take so much. So I don't think. I'm curious to see what will happen. So okay, I think the defense is great. Let's take a peek into the Yinzer mailbag. What is the Yinzer mailbag, you may ask? It is when you, the fan, get to ask us, the Yinzer Bros, the hosts of this international podcast, any question you want. Any question at all. We're here to answer your questions. You can send us your questions at yinzerbros@gmail.com. If you're lucky enough, you'll get to hear your question read on the air. Tim, do we have anything tonight in the Yinzer mailbag?
Yeah, Mush came out with some nice starters for us. So I'll read verbatim from his email in the Yinzer Bros mailbag. TJ and Testy Boy.
Is that your new nickname, Tim? Testy Boy?
I hope it is not. He goes, time for another campaign. He goes, as we start the season, all the listeners, I mean friends and family, which I think is that we're international. I don't know what he's talking about. International.
Yeah. We know this too. None of our family listens to this, so it's just friends.
No. So he wants to know, does anybody automatically start on my list week 1, or is the list clean and it works its way into week 1?
You know, that's a darn good question. Because let's just be real. Like, even your worst list offender actually may not be on the list this year.
He has to.
Number 34 has done pretty good.
TJ, what did we say? Preseason doesn't count. He has to prove his way to get off the. I don't know if he'll ever be off the list, but he has to prove his way to get off the list.
He's looked solid to me.
TJ, number 1 on the list. There's not a shadow of a doubt who number 1 is on the list right now.
Is it
if
Chase?
I have to watch. No, it's not even Chase. TJ, it's Joystick Boy. If I
he's bad.
If that dude, if I have to watch what I had to watch last year and what I've seen in the preseason with dude, I may just show up at Heinz Field when he comes out and just rap and run through him and be like, this is how you tackle, dude. I'm 42 years old. Rap and run through one time.
I would love to see you do that. The more we do this, the more you sound like Tom Harris.
I'm just telling you. You don't think I mean, TJ, he's getting paid $8 million. I don't know what he's doing.
I agree. I don't know what he's doing at all either.
Chase Claypool's on the list. 34's on the list. Anthony Chickolo, he will have a permanent place on the list.
What's he doing now? Is he in prison, Anthony Chickolo?
I don't know what he's doing. I don't want to say too much because that name gets me a little scared that I may have somebody show up at my house with a horse's head in my bed or something like that. So I don't want to put Mitch on my list yet. Because
you can't put Mitch on the list.
He's such a nice guy.
He's a captain.
TJ, he has the most like. You know, his face reminds me like of a baby deer. Like you seen the. That's what it like. So I don't know whether to punch him or pet him. I don't know what to do.
He does have a. Have you ever noticed too? He's got like a little peanut head. Have you noticed that?
I mean,
his head looks. He looks like. You ever remember Beetlejuice when he's in the waiting room and in the little? He looks like he's got a little head.
I know, and he's just such a nice guy. I just want to.
I think he's a very nice guy.
You're a nice guy, but I don't want that as my quarterback, TJ. I want a dude that I know is going to be like, hey, going to look me in the eyes and grab me by my throat and say, hey, go run a stick 5 yards, and that thing's on me before I can get out of my break.
That's funny. Well, I don't know if that's like
TJ, when you see an interview and you look in Mitch's eyes when he's talking,
Uh-huh.
and you look in Kenny's eyes, I mean, it's like two people, different people, two humans.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh,
I agree. I don't know. So I don't know. Yeah, so I can see Devin being on the list. Give me somebody that we would not think is going to be on the list, but is on your list already. I mean, the whole offensive line is on the list, right?
yeah, they're pretty much all there. Who could be on the list that you're not thinking of that could potentially be on the list?
Mm-hmm.
Witherspoon. He has possibilities to be on the list. The reason why I say that is he made like a interception last year when they were down by like 100, and he started celebrating like they just won the Super Bowl. He could very easily be on the list pretty quickly.
He could
I
be
don't
on the
like
list. I agree. I agree. Although I got to tell you what, as far as pickups off the trash heap, he was a pretty good pickup, wasn't he?
what are you talking about? They gave him like they traded like a fourth round draft pick for him.
I mean, but he was not very good. He wasn't even playing where he was at, and he's turned out pretty good.
We'll see. He played like 2.5 games last year. We'll see if he's any good.
Tim, you're a typical
right.
Yinzer, man. Golly,
I'm just saying.
What else?
All
What
right.
else is in the Yinzer mailbag, Mister
Vegas
Joy?
Vegas has the Steelers at 7.5 wins. Do we take the over or take the under?
I think they're going to win more than 7.5 games.
I mean,
I think-
it's Vegas. Vegas just hit that number. Just makes you just go, wow. They know something that.
Well, the NFL season is too unpredictable. You have injuries. You don't know how guys are gonna do. I would take the over on that. I mean, even when you look at the strength of their schedule, it's not a terrible schedule.
That schedule gets brutal, man. The first 6 games are brutal, and I don't know, man.
Well, the Jets they're not terrible. I mean, we could beat the Jets. There's definitely beatable games in there.
We'll see.
Don't you think?
There's a couple. I don't know if there's 7.5.
I think the Steelers are. I think you're looking at 9, maybe 10 wins. Now here's the question: Is 10 wins enough to get you in?
I think 10 is. Yeah, I don't think they're going to hit 10 wins. I think they're either going to be either 8 wins or 9 wins. I think they'll get over 7.5. But I just
I'm gonna make a prediction here too. I think, again, Cleveland is a hot mess. If anybody could screw up anything, Cleveland can do that. I think they'll finish in front of Cleveland, and I don't think the Ravens are as scary as they've been in the past. And so you get to this thing now where they've always been battling these injuries. Well, they have injuries every year that are catastrophic. What's going on in the Ravens? I mean, what's going on in their thing? So I don't know. And again, we don't know what Cincy's going to do. Cincy is one catastrophic injury away from. I mean, who's behind Burrow?
I don't know. That's a great question. I have no idea who's behind Burrow.
You know who could be behind Burrow? Mason Rudolph. They'd never send Mason that way, but that would ensure their complete downfall.
Can you imagine that? And he led them to the Super Bowl. Holy
moly!
Oh
gosh, don't even talk like that.
I guess another question is he's always going to throw this in here. Who's going to have more wins, the Steelers or the Bears?
Well, let's see. I mean, Green Bay is Green Bay. I think Minnesota's going to surprise some people. The Lions they're not great, but they're on the rise.
TJ, there isn't a God's chance creation that the Bears are going to have more wins than the Steelers. The Bears may be the worst team in the league this year. That team stinks. That team stinks, TJ.
Are they worse than the Texans?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who's going to be... I don't know, man. The Texans are pretty bad.
TJ, they're bad, man.
So I'm going to say, no, the Steelers will have more wins.
I think so, too. I 100% think so, too. Next, did I freeze? You're looking at me like
no. I'm good. I'm thinking. I'm using my brain. I just had a temporary.
Yeah, the Bears are bad. The Bears are bad. They're bad at football.
Did you hear they're proposing for Chicago for them to build a dome?
Yeah, out in Arlington Heights, it looks nice too. I'd do it. Are you kidding me? TJ,
Tim, what about tradition? What about you're there on the shores of the lake, the snow is swirling.
TJ, that I thought like, oh, we have the worst turf in the league. No. Chicago is absolutely brutal.
Soldier Field. It's iconic. What are you going to do next? You going to put a dome up there where Lambeau's at? Is that what we're going to do, Tim?
No, we can't. I mean, TJ, I don't. It's new age. If you want a Super Bowl, you got to put a dome on a stupid thing. It is what it is.
I hate that stuff.
I agree. I bear weather, bear down, whatever. But that place up there having, I'd much rather go down there than Soldier Field. Are you kidding me?
And not only is it, I mean, it's a dome, but they're taking it out of Chicago. They're taking it out of the city.
I agree. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Are you saying that maybe they're nervous? Maybe because Chicago's kind of out of control? Is that what's happening?
TJ, once they leave Soldier Field, I mean, I don't know.
Is it like the Thunderdome? Is it Mad Max in the Thunderdome?
Could be like the stinking the Roman Coliseum where they're having like kill like thumbs down.
Except they're doing it with like guns and things.
Yeah. Okay.
What else you have?
Let me see what we got here. What else do we have in the Yinzer bag? What do you think happened with the quarterback depth chart thingy? TJ, I will say this. When that came out, my heart just stopped. I go, what is going on?
Did you curse Mike Tomlin's name?
TJ, I was not happy. I go, what are you doing?
So do you buy that it was like, sorry, just a cut and paste error?
No, because Jaylen Warren was number 2 on the depth chart.
So what do you think happened? Do you think, was he doing it to hide, or was he doing it to inflate Mason's?
I don't know what he was doing, Mike Tomlin. But I'm honestly starting to feel bad for Mason. It's like the when you like the rabbit, when you put the carrot in front of him, just pull it out again and again.
Did you see his press conference? He basically asked for a trade and like, I
heard one of the sports talks radios go like, what out of all the moments with Mason, like what is his worst moments? When you think about it and name some of them, you're going, how does a human being sustain all these things in like a 4-year span, 5-year span?
Yeah.
Like
can you
TJ,
think of,
I'm
like,
going.
He must be the most unlucky Pittsburgh Steeler. How do you qualify any of the stuff that he's gone through?
Ben cursed him to the day he was drafted. He went in.
Malouche. I got it. The curse. I didn't think about the curse. Yeah, that's it.
He did. Ben was like, "Why are you drafting this guy why are you wasting a pick on him? Can you imagine just coming in like that?" And then you have like, but the worst. I mean, when he had no TJ, can you imagine leaving? They didn't even have a gurney to wheel him out on the field when he lost his face mask. They had to pick him up with 2 guys, and his feet were dragging like he was getting pulled out by a cop. Like he was like, you're not supposed to be here, sir. His feet are dragging. He's got his helmet on.
Didn't the truck like malfunction or something like that? The little car malfunction.
Can you imagine that? You being so concussed, you don't know what you're gonna go to the hospital, and you can't even have a cart come out because it doesn't work.
You think Ben?
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Ben cut those wires? You think he cut those wires?
I bet you Ben was back there with a knife hitting the wheels. And just...
Yeah, it was a debacle. I don't understand it. For a professional organization, it's crazy.
Can you imagine leaving a football field with no face mask, with 65,000 people, and then like 4 weeks after that, getting hit in the head with a helmet?
So here's my question: of all the guys that get concussed, why did they take his face mask off?
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
I mean, was he like, I can't breathe.
It was almost like Ben was in the take his face mask off. He doesn't need the cart. It's almost like Ben was like make him walk on his own. Or just like Ben was like just bury the body at the 35-yard line. It was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
No, I feel bad for the guy.
And then
I feel bad for the guy.
Mike Tomlin, it's an open court. No, it wasn't an open quarterback competition.
No.
TJ, Mason, like I said before, I think when we started this whole preseason, you asked me, no, it's never going to. Mason, he would have to, even if he was throwing the football. Remember the old NBA jams and the guy gets hot and the ball starts catching fire?
He's on fire.
If his football was like that, just he wasn't going to win the job.
No.
And they got that dude just sticking around. Like I'm saying, like I feel bad for him. Like let him go.
He won't even dress on Sunday. They won't even dress on Sunday.
Let him go. Be whatever he can be in the XFL. Let him go. Just let him go.
Some NFL team will pick him up because did you hear Joe Flacco starting this week against the Ravens?
Yeah, and I think he's probably their best option, which is even sadder. Because I think that guy, but I think the rookie they drafted, I think he's gonna stink.
He might. You got anything else in the user mailbag?
Let me take a peek here. My phone is malfunctioning like a mug. Okay. Come on. Yinzer mailbag. Where are we at here?
It's a high quality show we got. We're playing.
Yeah, it is what it is. Is Mason going to stay a Steeler or will be traded? I mean,
he's gone.
I think I got to trade him at some point, right?
Yeah. Well, even if at this point, even if like one of our two top ones go down, you can't keep him around, can you?
Wait, if one of the two go down, you keep him around?
I don't think you can keep him around. I think you got to get him. He's. I mean, what? How much more can a man take? Get him out of here. Honor him. Get him out.
I mean, wouldn't that be some stuff? He came on and he just came on the field, ripped his helmet off, and just played with no helmet and just started tearing up defenses. You're like, what is this?
Do you ever think Pittsburghers will accept him?
No, TJ. No, TJ. No. Another question here. Who is next for the Steelers to have their jersey number retired?
Franco's went up. Are you surprised at all that Bradshaw's didn't go up?
I think the smart thing to do would have been to do them both
at the same time
during that game. I think that would have been cool to do.
Yeah.
Do I think Bradshaw's will go up? From what you hear on the radio, I think there's enough of flack from the fans that I think at some point it has to go up.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think he's going to be the next one? Probably not. To me, some screams Lambert. I don't think it should be, just because it is. To me, I'd probably put Mel Blunt next because I think he was.
Blunt's a star too.
I think Blunt was revolutionized the cornerback position.
He did.
So to me, him. I mean, you could do Troy.
Yeah, because Troy's a generational player.
I'm trying to think who else.
I don't think like Swan and Stallworth, they were good, but I don't think they kind of changed the game. Lambert was definitely one of those guys. Like you said, I think after Bradshaw, that's probably it for a while. Do you think they ever retire number 7?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. TJ, if they're going to retire 12, if they retire 12, they don't retire 7. I mean, I know Bradshaw won 4 Super Bowls, but Ben was a better quarterback than Bradshaw.
He was.
Sorry, he was. So to me, yes, 7 will. I thought that's who they were going to do when they had this whole. I was like, are they really going to retire 7s that early?
But you got to think this: when you fly into Pittsburgh International Airport, the two that greet you are George Washington and Franco Harris.
But my question is, did you? But when you look back at all the Steelers teams, do you really think he's the second? Or it wasn't. When I'm thinking the '70s teams. He was he would be the second guy that you would retire the number. Really? You
know what? He was just. I mean, when he retired, he was the second highest leading rusher in the NFL behind Jim Brown. That was it. And he was, I mean, he was a freak of nature. But you know, he was one of that era's. I mean, he was a big dude. He was a big running back. And
just think about some of those names on '70s teams. Like you got, I mean, Jack Cam, Lambert. You got Blunt.
You know what? You tie them to the Immaculate Reception. He's tied to. Think about this. Him and Bradshaw are tied to the greatest play probably in NFL history.
I mean, do you think he should have had his number retired before Bradshaw?
Yeah, I think it'd be okay. I mean, he did come before Bradshaw. I think I like your idea. I think you retire them together. I think that would have been the best thing to do. But I mean, hey, when you go to Pittsburgh International Airport, you don't see a statue of Terry Bradshaw there.
No, you don't, because everybody in Pittsburgh, Bradshaw thinks everybody hates him in Pittsburgh, but they really don't. But
well, Bradshaw's, he struggles. He's got mental challenges. By the way, that was Tim Harris that said that.
It's okay. We can talk about it, Terry. I know we can talk about it. It's okay. Last question: if Mitch plays well, will we see Kenny at all this year?
I'm going to say no. I think Tomlin. If Mitch leads them to, let's say, 11 wins and they get a playoff berth, I don't think you see Pickett. I mean, if he's playing well, I'm not talking squeaking by.
Time out. You said if he gets 11 wins and leads to a playoff berth, yeah. I don't think he's going to get the chance to get to. I think he gets. The only way you're not going to see Kenny is if somehow the Steelers come out 5-2 or 6-1. If they're 500 hobbling around there, you will see Kenny Pickett.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm saying I don't think he'll get a chance to get to 11 wins, because I don't think they're going to be jumping out to a 7-2 record.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you never know.
I even think if they jump to 7-2 and they lose 2 games and go to 7-4, you're going to see Kenny in there at some point in time this season. You're going to see Kenny Pickett.
I think I don't think if he stumbles like for a quarter or even for a game, you'll see him. But I think if he starts to stumble for a couple weeks in a row, then why not? Why not put Kenny in?
I think your leash is going to be about 2 weeks with him, truthfully. I think if he comes struggling out the first 2 weeks of the season, I think the kitchen's going to get very hot, and you're going to see Kenny in there fairly quickly.
I mean, why not? What do you have to lose?
I guess my question to that is, if that does and Mitch is playing terrible, hypothetically, do you move him down to 3 and you move Stupid Face up to 2 and have Kenny?
Be gone. They'll move him. He'll be gone. The only thing that muddies the water up is the Chiefs thinking picked up our last round draft pick. That kid
which infuriates me, dude. Like, why do you waste that pick?
Well, I mean, the Chiefs see something in him. He's on the practice squad.
Why does the Steelers wait? Why does the Steelers waste that pick? Like, it's not like you haven't drafted guys in the 7th round before that's been actually the guy they drafted safety last year was a 7th round draft pick. They've drafted 7th rounders have been pretty good. Like, why waste that pick when you could have maybe picked up a lineman or something? Mm-hmm. I just don't get it. That's
maybe a stud like Kendrick Green, maybe another Green.
Oh, that dude! if I got to see that dude come on the field,
it's bad.
The listing too.
Oh, he's got to be on the list. Even though he's not starting, he's still on the list. I get it.
Yeah, he stinks.
Well, that's it for the Yinzer Mailbag. Again, if you get any questions, you can send them to yinzerbros@gmail.com, and we will get to your question as soon as we can. Tim, now it's time for our game predictions. Tim, do the Steelers have a chance? What does your gut tell you?
My gut tells me this game will be close. My gut tells me the Steelers just don't have enough of offense to win this game. I think it's going to be like a 21-17 game or 21-14 game. But the Steelers will keep it close. It's not going to be one of those games where they're going to kind of have to come tearing back in. It's going to be close the whole type game. Like I said, it wouldn't shock me if a field goal wins it, but I think Cincinnati's going to win. TJ, they're just better. They're just better from top to bottom to me.
I think the Steeler defense shows up big, and I think the Steelers shock the world, and I think they win 24-17. I think Burrow has 2 turnovers, a pick, and a fumble. And I think the defense keeps their offense at bay, and the offense does enough to score. And I think you're right. I think it's going to be a coming out party for George Pickens. And I think the Steelers,
he's a dog.
They're an offensive matchup nightmare if the line can give him just a little bit of time to throw.
But if you look at the flip side, so is the Bengals. They're an offense. They're a matchup nightmare for defenses.
So here's the question then: who is going to? I mean, you know who Burrow is, but which defense is going to? I think the Steelers have a better defense.
I don't know. I saw that same defense last year shut out Mahomes in the second half and get them to a Super Bowl. That offense didn't get them to that Super Bowl.
No,
their defense did last year. So that's the one thing that gets me.
But he was terrible. I've never seen Mahomes, and it wasn't like it was like the defense made him bad. Mahomes was just bad. I don't know. It was like you or me went back there. I mean, literally, have you ever seen a quarterback go from first half to second half? Mahomes was bad. He wasn't good. He was missing throws, and it wasn't like he was crazy pressured. He was just bad.
TJ, I will say this. I'm just, as of right now, we stand. Even in the preseason, I am not sold on the Steelers' run defense yet. They didn't prove anything to me in the preseason. They can stop the run still.
Well, I don't think you saw their studs out there at the same time.
And I agree, but I need to see it because I don't know if Alualu lost a step. I don't know if
all he's got to do is plug that big middle. I don't care what he does, just plug the middle.
But and I get it. I need to see it. You'll know real quick. To me, I didn't see it in all. I didn't see it really at all in the preseason. I saw a leaky run defense in the preseason. So I need to see that before I can kind of say, okay, this defense is dominant. Because if it's leaky a little bit, they're dead. I mean, they have to keep Devin Bush immaculately clean for him to actually make a tackle. If a body gets on him,
which is a shame, he's just too small. So here's a fun fact too: the Cincinnati offensive line did not play one down together during the preseason. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So we have no idea even what they're going to be like.
I agree, but
they were bad last year. So I think so I'm going to say 24-17 Steelers in a shocker. And I think what it's going to do is I think it's going to I just think, again, Mitch has more capabilities now than Ben did last year. I think Mitch can get the ball down the field. The few hits, even like, Freiermuth and these guys, I think the offense is it's not just I don't think it has to be just a dink and dunk thing anymore. And I'm hoping they hit some of the tight ends on the seams and stuff like that.
And I get what you're saying about Ben. But it always seemed like last year for about 3 quarters, you'd be like, this guy, he doesn't belong in the league. But fourth quarter would pop around and you're going, oh my God, Ben's making plays. Ben, I don't think Mitch can do that. I don't think he has that gene. I don't think he'll ever have that gene. That's the issue.
Do you know who can do it?
And he has the most luscious flow coming out of the back of that helmet.
He does. All right. Tim, anything else you want to add tonight to the podcast? We've been talking for a long time.
I got nothing, man. I'm ready to pass out. I got my additional booster today, and Tim Mateo is about 2 hours past his bedtime right now. Both of his arms not feeling too swell right now.
So just so you guys know, we'll be dropping a podcast, I guess, right after the Steeler game on Sunday. Isn't that right, Tim?
I guess, man. It depends on. Yeah, man. I don't. TJ, I'm scared that I don't have enough outfits this year to dress up for as amount of losses we're going to see this year.
Well, let's hope that the only outfit you need is the Franco's Italian Army helmet for every win.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping
we had a good run that first time we started, because you wore that 11 weeks in a row. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and by the end of the year, I was dressed up as a dog, and I had socks on my ears and my nose painted.
Yeah, it turned out pretty rough.
It's sad. It was a sad ending, TJ. It was a sad ending.
It was, but we had a good run there for a while. All right, well, I'm TJ here with my brother Tim, and we're the Injured Bros. Don't forget, if you like what you hear, pass the podcast along to your friends, your neighbors, your loved ones, your enemies, everybody. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.
Still number 1 out here, right?
We'll see you.